It is time now for our 11th and final team here on this 2022 Ryan Conference USA College Football Show. It is time for the Charlotte 49ers. They return their starting quarterback, Chris Reynolds. Almost 8,000 career passing yards. I mean, the numbers are just silly. We got Marquise Watts in the house. 61 tackles, 7 for loss. Last year's record, 5-7. They open the season August 27th against Florida Atlantic, joined by head coach Will Healy, quarterback Chris Reynolds, and defensive end Marquise Watts. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Same.
A busy day, right? You guys practiced this morning, jumped on the private jet, got here. What was this day like for you guys?
Well, I got 2 really good pilots here that got us here safely. It was, cool experience for all of us, just being together. And these guys have been in our program for a long time. Victor Tucker's here with us as well. And, just guys who have helped build this program. And to be able to experience that with them today was a lot of fun. Obviously, there's some of them I have to help with their swag a little bit more than others. But had a great first practice this morning. Excited to be getting after it again. And been a busy day, but excited to be here.
What was practice like? What did you take away from practice number 1?
I mean, I think we got a chance, but I think we got a long way to go. That's probably what everybody says about their first practice. But I know that you're excited about your depth. You're excited about some competitions at key positions. And I think we have a chance to be a lot better. So it's just what do we do over the next 24 practices that gives us a chance, and what do we do that's different than others? So I know we have great leadership. I was going through the roster the other day, and you got about 50 guys that you feel like could be on your leadership council. That's more than I've ever had. I think the guys are holding each other accountable. We've got, some really good athletes running around on the football field. So excited about what today looked like. Just a lot to fix.
Different is the key word, because you head in your 4th season, and you're kind of a different type of coach, right? Like, you do things differently. People who are not aware, you got a thing called Club Lit. What is Club Lit after a win?
Oh, it's this yoked up head coach that's, celebrating shirtless. I mean, is that what y'all would say about it? I think the biggest thing is that it's important to celebrate success. These guys work really hard for 12 guaranteed opportunities. And when we win a football game, we need to enjoy it. And I know that it's not, one game seasons and all this type of stuff where one game, changes your program. But when it happens and they've worked for 353 days for one opportunity, we need to enjoy it. And that's what I love. People ask all the time, is it the fear of losing or the thrill of victory that motivates you more? It's seeing these guys in Club Lit enjoying themselves and being able to celebrate success.
So Club Lit, guys, they bring a DJ into the locker room. They got the strobe lights. I mean, it is like an official club after the game for a win. Chris, Marquise, what is Club Lit like in a Charlotte locker room after a win?
I mean, for me, I think, after a win, you go around. Obviously, you want to thank the fans for coming out because you can't do it without them. But then you can feel the energy. You go through the tunnel of the stadium, and you can hear the music going. You get in. You got the guys with the pit vipers on their head, the sunglasses rolling. You got some guys with their shirt offs. The sweat dripping off everybody's faces. Everybody's getting in a huddle. There's probably one guy in the middle. I usually like to pop in there for about a good 10, 15 seconds till I get kicked out.
He's got terrible dance moves, by the way.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
But no, it's just exciting. Super exciting. You work really hard throughout a week to go for a win and work with your brothers and go celebrate with them. It's great.
I would go off what he branched off on about the energy change and the feeling after winning a game. It's a celebration on the field, and you're saying hey to the fans, the people that you know. But then you're like, oh, I got to get to the locker room. It's about to go crazy in there. And I just remember me and the guys like, well, we got to make this a Club Lit. And we just start running in there. When we get in there, it's no better feeling than seeing the guys that you worked with. They're dirty, they're sweaty, and they're turning up. And seeing your head coach turn up with you, that's really fun.
All right, so Marquise, you guys got back to work today. What was practice 1 like for you?
Practice 1 it felt good. The heat felt different. It felt it's just a good feeling to be back because there was times where we couldn't go back because of COVID, and things have just been great, man.
You are second all-time in school history in terms of sacks. You are creeping up that leaderboard, sandwiched in by 2 NFL guys. What does it mean to you to be on that list with such greatness?
It's an honor to be on that list, honestly, because I know Alex personally, and then I hear stories about Larry and how hard he worked. It's an honor to be up there with him, but it's more of a personal thing as well. I don't want to think too much of him. Like, I got to beat him. I got to beat him. I have to beat myself first.
Do you have any relationship with Alex or Larry? Have they given you any?
Me and Alex really close. We played that 2019 season. He was really good playing with him. Felt like a brother.
You learn anything from him?
Work ethic. That guy can work. I mean, there's not too many people that can work like Alex and have the good character that he has as well. Like, you can trust him with anything, anywhere.
Defensively, as a unit, what's the strength right now?
Strength right now is accountability within our players. It's not too many things that go on and it doesn't get called out and guys don't feel a certain way about it. I think our strength right now is definitely accountability. Guys willing to step up.
All right, Chris Reynolds, you return for your 6th season, all-time leading passer in school history. What do you want to accomplish this year?
I want to win. I mean, I think that's everybody's goal. It's easy to say. I want to win, but I want to win each day, one at a time. I think a lot of times, you hear guys, they get on a board like to write goals on a board. The goals are great. I'm all for goals, but there's got to be a process behind that. I think right now, learning from last season, you get a little bit of ahead of yourself sometimes. So I think, like today, let's just win today's practice. Tomorrow or tonight, I'm going to watch the film. Let's win tomorrow's practice. And we're going to take it one day at a time. And I think when you can hone in those little details of a practice, if it's my steps on a drop or alignment of a receiver, steps for a right guard, if we can dial in those little details and not get too far ahead of ourselves, we're going to do good things. But so just winning each day, one at a time. That's my goal.
So day one was today.
Yep.
What'd you take away?
I'm excited. We got a bunch of veterans around there, all around us. I'm thankful for guys like Victor, Calvin Camp, Grant Dubose, Elijah Spencer. I could go on and on. But those guys hold each other accountable. I think right now we're honing in on the details like I was explaining about. I mean, throughout a practice, it's easy. We have explosive players. We got guys all around that can make plays. But how do we do it more consistently? I think that's our goal right now. We had a good day today. We got to keep it going, though.
All right, so you were a former camper at the Manning Passing Academy.
Correct.
And then this past summer, you went back as a counselor.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like, and what have you learned through the years from that academy?
It came full circle. I remember being in 8th grade and being in the stands, and the Mannings, Archie would go up there and announce the counselors, and Peyton and Eli, obviously, and you look down and like, wow, like, look, there's Jameis Winston, there's Dak Prescott. Now I got to flip the table, and I'm looking at all these campers like, wow, this came full circle, so you got to take that in and be grateful for a second. But just being around Payne and Eli and learning from them and talking about their process, what they do with the line of scrimmage, how do they handle adversity, it was special, and I was thankful. So we got to coach the kids, we got to train together as college quarterbacks, and we got to be social a little bit and hang out and learn from each other and cut up a little bit. Unbelievable experience.
Is there one thing you learned this past summer at the Manning Passing Academy that you're going to incorporate in your game?
Absolutely. I mean, we had a good Q&A session, and you got some one-on-one time with them. But I think the biggest thing was dealing with the adversity. I mean, you get to this level, everything's so marginal. Everybody's trying to be the best, and you're trying to get every inch you can. How do you respond, and how do you deal with tough situations throughout a game? Are you able to move on from it? How do you handle success is another thing. A lot of times people get so caught up on the highs, they don't handle a low very well. How do you manage that emotional roller coaster throughout a game? And I have some notes written into my notepad that I like to look back on, especially like even today before practice. How are we handling these situations? And able to learn that from people like Peyton Manning and Eli Manning doesn't get much better than that.
I mean, it seems like you got an extension of your coaching staff on the field. I mean, what is it like having a 6th-year senior quarterback coming back leading your offense?
I mean, it's where it starts. That position is so important at all levels of football. But not just that, and you can see from Marquise and from Vic Tucker and from Chris, it's just you've got veteran guys that work harder than everybody else, and they set great precedents for like your program and the mentality of the guys coming in your program. When they look at your best players and see how they work and it's at a championship level, then you're starting to change the trajectory of your program. And these two guys I can't say enough about. Number one, sticking with me, in the day and age where you got guys transferring left and right, and we've taken advantage of that ourselves with guys coming in. These guys have been there and built a program. And it motivates me each and every day to get up and make sure that this place looks different than when they got there. But it's motivating me right now to make sure that these guys go out on the note that they deserve to go out on, which is as winners and having a special senior season. So, yeah, it's big time. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy being around these guys. They're unbelievable humans, but they're also great players.
All right, we're getting set for the first game of the season. Let's take a look at your schedule at Florida Atlantic. Walk me through the schedule.
The only one is Florida Atlantic. That's the only one I see. Everything else is blurred out on the screen you've given me. So going into one of the teams that traditionally is one of the favorites to win this conference, I have not seen the media polls as of yet with what it looks like, but I'm sure they'll be up there again this year. Obviously, Willie Taggart's done an unbelievable job and taken off where Lane Kiffin, had left them, and be an unbelievable Week 0 matchup in Boca conference game against an unbelievable opponent.
Looking at your team, I know only been one day of practice. You had spring ball. Where's the strength on offense and where's your strength on defense?
You know, I don't. It's hard to say in a helmets practice. I feel great about the pieces around, but I think we are using camp to find an identity. Like, who are we? And how bad do we really want to be great? Every team in the country right now is saying, I want to be 12-0 and go win a conference championship. Every team that's here, you know, wants a ring like UTSA has. So it's fun to say, but I think, you know, we'll figure out what our identity is over the next couple weeks. And, I definitely don't think it's we're shorthanded in any situation. It's just how well do we come together and what becomes the strength after the next 24 practices.
Will Healy, head coach, Charlotte 49ers, getting ready for the season. Appreciate you joining us. Practice day 1 in the books.
Yeah, we'll get after it again tomorrow morning. Appreciate you having us.
All right, Chris Reynolds, Marquise Watts, thank you guys for coming as well.